Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when you're watching this. I thought I'd give you a tour today of the 2015 Mack that I bought back a couple of days ago. So now I have two trucks in my business, a 2019 International LT and this 2015 MACK CXU613. So let's go take a look. Let's look under the hood first. What powers this truck? Well, a Mack MP8 motor powers this truck, and this truck is 445 horsepower, 1,700 pounds of torque. To be honest with you, I've owned this truck for 2.5 years, and the only thing I've replaced on the motor was I got new injectors, a new starter, which isn't part of the motor, and a water pump. Once again, the engine has held up great. It is very powerful. Let's go take a look at the other side. Well, here's the other side. Here's the EGR cooler, freshly painted. This was taken off the truck because I needed some new oil lines that are behind the EGR cooler. So they took the EGR cooler off and painted it. It was getting kind of rusted, so they decided to paint it. There's the little turbo, and look at this. Look at these leaf springs. I wonder if these leaf springs would hold up hitting a curb. Huh, good question. All right, why don't we jump into the truck here and we'll look at the interior of the truck. Here's the captain's seat. The one thing that I like more about the International is just all the room you have up front. As you can tell, I've taken out the passenger seat in this truck. I did that a long time ago. Let's talk about the powertrain. This truck's powertrain is an M-Drive manually automated transmission. So I really don't understand why they use the manual, but it is an automatic. You press D to drive, neutral, and reverse. Take a look at the cluster up here of all the gauges. Now, I don't want to start the truck, but I'll do that in another video. This does have a guard dog system and like a maintenance system on it. So when you start it, you can run through all the parameters and make sure that there isn't any faults, and if there is a fault or a check engine light, it will tell you what it is up here on this screen. But yeah, and for all you that like gauges and switches, look at all the switches this Mack comes with. I mean, there's even more down here. Look at all that. All right, let's move on to the rear, to the bunk of the truck. So this is a small, like, what do you consider this? Like a mid-roof that goes up into, look at the fan, I got a fan up there, up into a full stand-up bunk. But here's the bunk right now. Now I just bought this truck back, so the only bedding I had was, I did have a sheet in here and I brought a sleeping bag. But this truck is kind of cram quarters for OTR. But yeah, just look, it does have like a little armoire area. Right now, the only thing in there is my backpack. And then it's got a shelf there, another shelf here. Now this has nothing to do with this truck anymore. I used to have an idle-free APU unit, and this was like the evaporator for the air conditioning. I just haven't taken it out yet. But as you can tell, there's no cabinets in this truck. It's only these shelves. I have one on this side. As you can tell, I got some food up here for this trip. And then over here is another shelf. And this is, typically what I do is all my food is in bins like this. Like you can get these at Dollar Tree, and I put them all along here and put my food in there. Well, I had cleaned that out when I sold the truck, except for these. These have like all my cleaning products. I have a sweatshirt folded up here, and of course I have a towel. And here's your bunk controls. Now, I actually don't use these at all because this truck does have a Thermo King APU, which is, the controls are right there. This truck did come with a fridge, and I took the fridge out and put a shelf in there. So normally, like tools, my tool bag and all that goes under there. I do have some clothes on this shelf right here with like a filter back there. Here's like your little desk area with a pull-out drawer. There is my inverter. And yeah, there's my cooler. This is just a cheap little cooler right now. This isn't my bodega. This is actually belongs to DIY Semi. He let me borrow it for this trip. But yeah, here's what it looks like. You can stand up all the way. You just have to duck back down when you want to get to the driver's seat. Once again, this is a 2015. Do I think it's like in immaculate shape? No, I don't. But you know what? This little truck cost me $42,000 when I bought it 2.5 years ago. And it paid for itself in about 6 months. I made 8 payments on this truck and then owned the truck outright. And I just bought it again. I bought it again, what, probably 5-6 days ago? Well, that was a tour of my 2015 MACK CXU613. Is it the greatest truck on the road? No, it's not. Is it very tough? Man, the chassis, the frame, everything on this truck is built like Mack tough. And I'm not just saying that. Like, it really is built tough. Is it the most comfortable for OTR? No, it's not. It would be great for like regional style work. You can tell the bunk isn't very big. But you know what? When I became an owner-operator, I wanted a truck that I could afford, and I wanted a truck that could do the job. Well, that is this truck. Like I said, is it perfect? No. I think my International is built more for OTR than this truck. This truck doesn't get the greatest fuel economy either. In the wintertime, when it's really cold, you're going to get hood truck miles per gallon. I'm talking like 5.5 miles a gallon. Now this trip right now, I left my house last Tuesday. It's Sunday right now. I've put on about 2,200 miles, and I'm actually getting great fuel economy right now for this truck. Just today, I did my fuel economy from the last time I fueled up until today, and I'm getting 7.1 miles per gallon in this truck in the summertime. No winter fuel. I do treat my fuel with Fuel Ox. Maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, I would say all in all, if you are looking to become an owner-operator and get into a truck, right now on Truck Paper, you can score one of these MACK CXU613s for probably under $40,000, maybe 41. And you know what? It does the job. And the truck is a great running truck. I have had no problems, minus in fuel injectors. I needed to replace those at about 630,000 miles. The powertrain is great. I don't have a lot of negative things to say about the truck, except like the quality of life on the road can be tough. Just because it's cramped. You know how a Kenworth, like the front is cramped? Well, so is the Mack, and you saw, like, I can't stand up here, but it does have a full stand-up bunk. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video on my 2015 MACK CXU613. And until next time, you know what it is. Pull your air brakes and keep on trucking. Well, that doesn't make sense.